scoring second chance points?
Our activity level in the last three quarters, just across the board, was better. One of those departments were the offensive glass and in the paint cuts, things of that nature. It takes effort, to get those kind of plays, and we were making a lot more of those efforts in second and third quarter in particular.
Coach, also, how important was it to put this game away early in the fourth to give 3 out of 5 starters rest ahead of tomorrow's game at Charlotte?
Well, you have to plan for the game to be a 48-minute game, and I was approaching it that way. The second unit played really well. They're the ones that really sparked us in the second quarter and turned the game around. I mean, we were down double digits, and then in the fourth quarter they earned those minutes and were able to build on that lead, and we didn't have to bring the starters back.
Thank you, sir.
All right, up next we have Anthony Chiang. Go ahead.
Baseball. After that slow start, it seemed like the bench came in there in the second quarter and really provided a lift. What energy did that provide the team? How much did that kind of turn things around, especially with what Max Strus gave you there in that period?
Yeah, in the first quarter, we weren't really defending with great conviction, and they were also making shots. So it's a combination of both. But they were in their comfort zone, and second unit came in a little bit with the zone, but it was more about the activity and deflections, rebounding, able to get some easy ones in the open court off of that, and then they just turned the momentum of the game. In the second quarter, they really created a lot of actions, and Max was able to to show you how his game has progressed. Yes, he's a very good, distance shooter, but he's a great cutter. He's improved, off the dribble. And, I think everybody was, inspired by his play. He was being physical as well, on the defensive side.
And with Duncan, it feels like every 25 games or so, we're asking you about another milestone he hit, but today you became the fastest in NBA history to reach 500 threes. I mean, what does that say just about what a prolific shooter, obviously he's become in this league?
Yeah, Karan mentioned that to me after the game. I wasn't even aware of it, but that is, a staggering statistic if you think about it. It really is a credit, to how much work he's put into his craft to develop his shooting ability on the move, under duress, and evolve versus, different coverages and scouting reports that are designed to take him out of that shot. And I think it's also a credit, to his teammates who really worked to get him open. Starting with Bam and JB. Bam is really committed, to getting Duncan a handful of free looks every game, and JB always attracts a crowd. So, in the way he plays and how unselfish he is, that usually opens up things for Duncan. It's a great symbiotic relationship, but it is very impressive that he's done it that quickly.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, up next, Ira Windeman. Go ahead.
Hey, Erik, I actually wanted to wait for a couple of questions to be asked to see if someone asked this just because of the question I'm going to ask you. Has it come to a point where we're almost taking Kendrick Nunn for granted? That he has been so steady for so many games now with other guys out that is it sort of that 20-point Kendrick Nunn, 18-point Kendrick Nunn is sort of who he is right now? We
don't take him for granted. Look, there have been a lot of different circumstances over the course of the last several months. Some out of his and our control. But he was a very big offensive piece to our equation last year. And then, these last 6 weeks, he's built on, his experiences last year and he's really providing an offensive threat and spark for us. So, in both lineups, we need it right now. So we need his scoring ability, his shooting ability, his playmaking, and he's been very diligent about improving, his offensive reads and improving as a team and individual defender as well.
And another guy, because he's so subtle about the way he does stuff, but it seems like Trevor Ariza always gets in the right spots where you need him on the offensive end. I mean, is that just a pro's pro who's been there, seen it, done it?
Trevor's one of the most underrated players in this league. But I would say that the contending teams that have had him before, he's not underrated. He does so many things. His activity, his deflections, his ability to guard multiple positions. And he also, has been a very underrated scorer over the course of his career. Look, he knows it. I've wanted to coach him, and I've wanted him in the program for a long time, and it's just never, worked out. And it worked out at this time, and we feel very fortunate about it because I just think he's a winning player.
Thank you.
All right, up next we have Cooper Moorhead, Heat.com.
Oh, this is going to sound like a mouthful at first, but this is just the fifth time in league history that a team has won by 15 while allowing 23s from the other side. And does that kind of just feel like where we are now? Like, what would you have thought 10 years ago if you saw a box score like that?
Yeah, I mean, we had not where we gave up 20, but it used to be if you gave up 15, you were losing for sure. You would chalk it up